Hello students, how you all are? I hope you're fine and safe. Again, I'm here with a new video of class 8 English literature. Today I'm going to teach you lesson 7 of your textbook. The name of the lesson is The Case of the Blue Carbuncle. But before I proceed further, I will request all of you to subscribe our school channel for getting the new notifications. This is a short story written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He was a British writer, but at the same time, he had great passion for writing. By profession, he was a medical doctor. Doyle was the man who created the fictional character of Sherlock Holmes in 1887 when he published A Study in Scarlet, the first of 4 novels, and more than 50 short stories about Holmes and Dr. Watson. Dr. John Watson was the friend of Sherlock Holmes, and both the fictional characters were created by Sir Doyle. Sir Doyle was born on 22nd of May 1859 at Edinburgh, United Kingdom. He passed away on 7th of July 1930 at Crowborough, United Kingdom. This was the short introduction about this great writer. Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character created by Sir Doyle. By profession, he was a private detective. First of all, you should understand the meaning of fiction and fictional character. Fiction word is derived from a Latin word which means fictus. The meaning of fictus is to form. Fictional characters are imaginary characters, and the word fiction has nothing to do with the real facts. It is all the imagination of the writer. So fictional characters do not exist, but the writer presents those characters in front of us in such a way that we all believe that fictional characters exist somewhere in the world, but actually it is not. It is only the imagination of the writer. The writer imagines a character in his mind, and in the same way he presents that character in front of us. So now all of you should understand that fictional characters are those characters which actually do not exist. They have nothing to do with the real life or real facts. As far as Holmes is concerned, Sherlock Holmes is a very familiar name. All of you must have heard about him. There are so many stories in which Holmes as a detective solves the cases. And Holmes is known for his proficiency with observation, his dedication towards work. Whatever case comes to him, he solves with full dedication and with logical reasoning. And in all the cases, he was helped by his close friend, Sir John Watson. And the way he solves the case is always fantastic. So here you can see that there is an imaginary picture also of Sherlock Holmes. Sir Doyle has given him an imaginary face also. So Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character. In real life, it do not exist. The Adventure of Blue Carbuncle is one of the 56 short Sherlock Holmes stories written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The 7th story of 12 in the collection, and it was first published in Strand magazine in January 1892. As the title of the story is The Case of the Blue Carbuncle, so here also Sherlock Holmes is going to investigate a case. And here the word carbuncle is related to a precious gem. It is the name of a precious gem which has been stolen from a hotel suite, and this precious gem belongs to the Countess of Morcar. While she was staying in the hotel, it was stolen from the hotel. And in this case, Sherlock Holmes and his friend John Watson, they are trying to determine the real identity of the thief. So as we proceed forward in this story, we'll come to know that how Sherlock Holmes and his friends solve this case. So let's proceed further in the main part of the story. The story starts this way, that on Christmas, the friend of Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, he visits him to wish him. And when he comes to his house, he sees that Holmes is sitting with an old and shabby hat. When he inquires about the hat to Holmes, Holmes tells him that today on Christmas, a man named Peterson, who was working in a police department, he was heading home when he saw that a tall man was indulged in fight with some hooligans. And when the hooligans saw that a policeman is approaching near to them, the man who was indulged in the fight and the hooligan, both of them ran away. But the man who ran away, who was attacked by the hooligans, he left behind his hat and a dead goose. So Peterson picked up both the things, the hat and the dead goose, and he brings both the things to Sherlock Holmes. He shows him the goose, dead goose, and the hat, and he tells him the full incident. At the same time, he tells him to find about this man who left his hat and was attacked by the hooligans. When Sherlock Holmes sees the hat, he determined two things. The first thing, that the man who left his hat is no longer a richer man, because if he would be a rich man, he would have purchased a new hat. But this hat was very old and shabby. Next thing, he comes to the conclusion that he was not having very good relations with his wife, because the wife was not taking care of him, and the hat which he was wearing was not clean and not properly brushed up. So for further investigation, he keeps the hat with him and he hand over the dead goose to Peterson and tells him to take the goose home. On the next day, Peterson comes to meet Holmes and he brings with him a stone, and he informs Holmes that this stone his wife got in the crop of the goose. When Holmes takes that stone in his hand, he immediately recalls that this was the same stone which was stolen from the hotel Cosmopolitan 5 days before. And this stone belongs to the Countess of Murkar. She was staying in the same hotel from where this precious stone has been stolen. And after that, a man named John Horner was arrested by the police as a suspect. And the information about John Horner was given to the police by James Ryder, an upper attendant. He was also the employee of the same hotel. Now it was very important for Holmes to find that man who left the hat and the dead goose from which this precious stone has been recovered. So for this, he places an advertisement in the paper that whosoever has left the hat, he mentioned the date also, can come and recollect his hat from the given address. After he places the advertisement, a man named Henry Baker comes and meets him and claims for the hat. But Holmes realizes that the man only shows interest in his hat. He had no interest to recollect the dead goose, the original dead goose which he left on the road. So with this, Holmes comes to the conclusion that this man knows nothing about the theft. The only thing he inquires that from where he got that goose. So Mr. Baker tells him that he got this goose from Alpha Inn. Alpha Inn with the name of a shop from where he got this goose. So now the next step of Holmes was to go to Alpha Inn and inquire about the case further. So Holmes and his friend Watson, they make a way to Alpha Inn. And they come to know after reaching there that all the birds to Alpha Inn was supplied by Mr. Breckenridge. So when they go and meet Mr. Breckenridge and ask him some questions about the case, Mr. Breckenridge becomes angry and tells Mr. Holmes that before you also, many persons have come and asked me the same question. So I am irritated now. I don't want to answer any of your questions. But when Holmes pressurized him to give the answer, in order to prove Holmes wrong and in order to prove that he is innocent and knows nothing about the theft, He opens the ledger in front of Holmes, and from there Holmes notes the address of the actual supplier of the birds. And she was a lady. Her name was Mrs. Oxshott. The birds, the total birds to Breckenridge were coming from Mrs. Oxshott. So now Holmes' next step was to go and inquire about the rest part from Mrs. Oxshott. So as they were planning, both Holmes and his friend Watson, to go to Mrs. Oxshott, they noticed that a little nervous man was inquiring about the geese from Breckenridge. As Holmes was a detective, so he suspected something wrong, and he and his friend Watson immediately overpowers that man. In the beginning, he gave them a false name, but later on, he gave his original name and he said that he is James Ryder, the hotel attendant. And James Ryder is the same person who gave information about John Horner, and police arrested him as a suspect for the crime. When Holmes and Watson started investigating further, Ryder broke down and he burst into tears. And he accepted that he carried on the theft with the help of the Countess' maid, Catherine Cusack. The maid helped him to plot the crime, and with her help only, the crime has been done and the precious stone has been stolen. After the theft was done, he took that stone to a friend in Kilburn and tells him to start the process of selling the stone, because he was sure that it is very expensive and he will get a good money for that. Ryder had a sister who promised him that on Christmas she will gift him a goose. So when he comes to know that his sister is going to gift him a goose, immediately a cunning idea hit his mind, and he planned that if he managed to feed that goose presented by his sister that precious gem, he can take both the gem as well as the goose home and no one will ever suspect him. And what he planned, he managed to do that also. He fed that precious gem to one of the goose, but unfortunately the goose escaped and he picked up the wrong bird home. And as a matter of fact, after that, Mr. Henry Baker also went to the shop, and coincidentally, he picked up the same bird to which Mr. Ryder fed that precious stone. And then when he was going home, he was attacked by the hooligans. He dropped his hat as well as the dead goose and ran away, and rest story you all know. So now when Mr. Ryder accepted that he is the only person who plotted the crime with the help of Catherine Cusack, so now it was proved that the precious stone has been stolen by Mr. Ryder. And by mistake, police has arrested Mr. John Horner. So now Ryder requested Holmes to let him go. But John Watson, his friend, he advised Holmes that we should not let him go. We will produce him in front of the court, as because John Horner is innocent and he is the real culprit. But Holmes tells Dr. John Watson that he don't have that much of courage to appear in front of the court to give his statement against John Horner, because now he knows that he has been caught, so he will not take that risk. And when he will not turn up to the court and give the statement, automatically the case will collapse and John Horner will be proved innocent and he will be released. Because now Mr. Ryder is very much scared. He was scared of disgrace. He was scared of prison. So he will not go to the court. And Holmes and Watson releases Mr. Ryder. So in this way, Sherlock Holmes, with the help of his friend Dr. John Watson, they solved this case and the precious gem was recovered, and they also managed to find the real identity of the thief. So students, I hope that you have liked this story. The way Sherlock Holmes investigates the case, it is always amazing, it is always fantastic, it is always interesting. So now I will give you some question answers and the word meanings, and these question answers are from your textbook. So all of you will write these question answers in your copy as well as the word meanings. So the first question is, why hadn't Henry Baker advertised for his lost hat? So he hadn't advertised for his lost hat because it was old and shabby. As I told in the beginning that the hat was very old and shabby. That's why maybe he was not interested to advertise for that. Who helped Ryder to plot the crime? This answer is very easy. Ryder was helped by Countess Maid Catherine Cusack to plot the crime. Why did Ryder go to meet his sister? Ryder's sister promised him that she will be presenting him a goose on Christmas. So Ryder went to the house of his sister in order to think things over, in order to take the goose, as well as now he has the precious stone was with him. So he thought that he will go there and he will think that what to be done next. Question number 4. Why did Ryder break into convulsive sobbing? When he was investigated by Holmes and Watson, he broke down and burst into tears because he was scared of disgrace and prison. Next, where do Holmes and Watson go after Baker leaves? Why? When he places the advertisement in the paper, so Baker comes to recollect his hat, and Baker only tells them that he collected this bird from Alfheim. So after Baker leaves, Holmes and Watson left for Alfheim to solve the case. These are the 5 question answers which you have to write in your copy, and these are the word meanings. Transpired, revealed, solemnly in a serious or formal matter, parched, dried, barred, closed, vestige, trace, Morocco casket, a small box, size box for keeping jewels. So students, write these question answers and word meaning, as well as also learn these question answers and word meanings. And I hope you have liked the story. Stay safe, be at home, respect all, suspect all. Thank you.